Have you ever noticed that simple tasks, things you used to do without a second thought, now feel a little harder? Maybe opening a stubborn jar, carrying groceries, or even just getting up from a low chair takes a bit more effort than it used to. It's a subtle shift, perhaps, but it's there, isn't it? You might shrug it off, thinking, "Oh, I'm just getting older," or, "I guess I'm not as strong as I used to be." But what if these little signs are pointing to something more significant? Something we should pay attention to, not dismiss. As your doctor, I hear these concerns often in my office, and they're perfectly normal to feel. Let's explore these feelings together, because they're the first hint of a larger conversation about your health and vitality. Or perhaps it's your energy levels that have taken a dip. Do you find yourself feeling more tired throughout the day, even after a good night's sleep? Maybe you're less inclined to go for that long walk, or you hesitate before tackling a home project that requires some physical exertion. It's not about being suddenly unable to do things. It's more about a gradual fading, a quiet erosion of your usual vigor. You might wonder if it's just the natural course of life, an inevitable part of aging. But what if we could actively work to preserve that energy, that zest for life, well into our later years? These are the questions that often lead people to seek advice, and they're important ones to ask ourselves. And in today's world, it's hard to ignore the constant barrage of advertisements and catchy headlines, isn't it? You scroll through social media, read an article online, or even watch TV, and suddenly you're faced with promises of miracle solutions. Boost your strength with this one simple trick, or reverse aging with this daily supplement. They often suggest a quick fix, a magic powder to stir into your morning coffee, or a pill that will instantly restore your youthful vitality. It's tempting, isn't it, to think there's an easy button for something as complex as our physical well-being. These messages tap into a very real concern that many of us share: how to stay strong and energetic as we get older. It's completely understandable to be drawn to these kinds of promises. When you're feeling a bit weaker, or your energy isn't quite what it used to be, the idea of a simple, effortless solution sounds incredibly appealing. We all want to feel our best, to maintain our independence, and to enjoy life to the fullest, regardless of our age. But as your doctor, I've also seen how confusing and overwhelming all this information can be. How do you separate genuine advice from clever marketing? How do you know what truly works and what's just selling you a dream? My goal here is to help you navigate this landscape, to cut through the noise, and to give you clear, actionable insights. Let's think for a moment about what's really going on beneath the surface when we talk about strength and energy. Our bodies are incredible machines, designed for movement and activity. And a huge part of that design relies on our muscles. They're not just for lifting weights. They're essential for every single movement we make, from walking across the room to reaching for a book on a high shelf. They support our posture, protect our joints, and even play a role in our metabolism. So when we start to notice those little declines in strength or endurance, it often points to a change happening within these vital tissues. It's a natural process, but one we can certainly influence. Imagine your daily routine. Think about how much you rely on your muscles for everything. Getting out of bed, standing up from a chair, climbing stairs, carrying groceries, playing with grandchildren. Every action requires muscle power. If that power begins to wane, even subtly, it starts to impact your independence and your ability to do the things you love. You might find yourself avoiding certain activities or relying more on others. This isn't just about feeling less fit. It's about maintaining your quality of life, your freedom, and your ability to fully participate in the world around you. This is why paying attention to these early signs is so incredibly important for your long-term well-being. So what exactly are we talking about when these changes occur? Well, there's a medical term for this natural, age-related loss of muscle mass and strength, and it's called sarcopenia. Don't let the name intimidate you. It simply describes a process that affects many of us as we get older. It's not a disease in the way you might think of a cold or a broken bone, but rather a condition that can significantly impact your health and how you experience your later years. Understanding sarcopenia isn't about scaring you, it's about empowering you with knowledge. It's about recognizing that these subtle shifts you've been feeling are part of a recognized biological change. Why does sarcopenia matter so much? Because healthy muscles are fundamental to maintaining your independence and vitality as you age. When muscle mass and strength decline, it increases the risk of falls, makes everyday tasks more challenging, and can even affect your metabolism and overall energy levels. It's not just about looking strong. It's about being strong enough to live the life you want, on your terms. My role is to help you understand that while this process is natural, it's not entirely out of your control. There are indeed effective steps we can take together to counteract these effects and preserve your strength for the long haul. Given all the headlines, the quick fix promises, and the genuine concerns you might have, it's easy to feel lost. That's precisely why I want to have this conversation with you. As your doctor, my commitment is to provide you with clear, evidence-based information, not fads or marketing hype. We'll explore what sarcopenia truly is, why it's so important to address, and most importantly, what real, sustainable actions you can take. This isn't about selling you a specific product. It's about giving you the tools and understanding to make informed choices for your own health. Let's start by looking at the bigger picture, beyond just a single ingredient or a fleeting trend. Together, we'll move beyond the headlines and delve into the critical roles that consistent nutrition, yes, including intelligent protein intake, perhaps even in that morning coffee, alongside regular, appropriate exercise and other healthy lifestyle habits play. This isn't about a magic pill. It's about a comprehensive approach to maintaining your strength, boosting your energy, and preserving your overall vitality for years to come. My aim is to empower you with practical knowledge so you can feel confident and capable in taking charge of your muscle health, ensuring you can continue to enjoy an active, independent life, not just for a moment, but for the long haul ahead. Building on our previous chat, let's really dig into sarcopenia. It's more than just getting weaker as you get older. It's a specific, progressive loss of muscle mass, strength, and function. Think of your muscles not just as bundles of fibers, but as active, living tissues that are constantly being built up and broken down. With sarcopenia, this balance shifts, and the breakdown starts to outpace the buildup. This isn't an overnight process. It's a gradual decline that can start as early as your 30s and accelerate after 60. It affects everyone differently, but the underlying mechanism is the same. Your body becomes less efficient at maintaining and repairing its muscle tissue. This subtle shift can have big implications for your daily life, far beyond just lifting heavy objects. So, when we talk about muscle, we're not just thinking about the biceps or triceps you might see in a mirror. We're talking about all the muscles that support your spine, allow you to balance, and give you the power to push, pull, and lift. Sarcopenia impacts these foundational muscles first, often leading to a general feeling of weakness or instability that you might not immediately attribute to muscle loss. It's a silent process, often without obvious pain, which is why it can sneak up on us. Many people simply adjust their activities, not realizing they're compensating for a loss of muscle that could be addressed. Understanding this gradual erosion is the first step towards taking control and preserving your physical capabilities. This isn't just about aesthetics or being able to open a jar. It's about the very core of your physical independence. Healthy muscles are metabolic powerhouses. They help regulate blood sugar, play a role in your immune system, and contribute significantly to your overall energy expenditure. When muscle mass dwindles, all these processes become less efficient. This can lead to a cascade of other health challenges, making you more vulnerable to certain conditions and slowing down your recovery from illness or injury. It truly is a foundational element of healthy aging, and recognizing its broad impact helps us appreciate why it's so critical to address proactively, rather than waiting for noticeable problems. Many people confuse sarcopenia with general frailty, but while they are related, they're not quite the same. Frailty is a broader term encompassing a decline in multiple body systems, often including muscle weakness, but also things like fatigue, slow walking speed, and unintentional weight loss. Sarcopenia, specifically, targets the muscle tissue itself. It's a primary driver of frailty, meaning if we can address sarcopenia, we can often prevent or mitigate the onset of broader frailty. This distinction is important because it means there's a specific target for intervention. We can focus on rebuilding and maintaining muscle, which in turn strengthens your entire system and keeps you more resilient. Think of your muscle mass as a savings account. Throughout your younger years, you're ideally making regular deposits through activity and good nutrition, building up a healthy reserve. As you age, without conscious effort, you start making withdrawals, and the account balance dwindles. Sarcopenia is that dwindling balance. It's not just about losing muscle, but also about the quality of the remaining muscle. Fat can infiltrate muscle tissue, making it less efficient and weaker, even if the overall limb size doesn't change dramatically. This fatty infiltration further reduces muscle function, compounding the problem and making it even harder to perform daily tasks with ease and confidence. The good news is that this isn't an irreversible fate. While sarcopenia is a natural process, its progression and severity can be significantly influenced by our lifestyle choices. It's not something we simply have to accept without a fight. This is where those headlines about beating sarcopenia start to touch on a truth, even if they often oversimplify the solution. The core idea that we can actively counter muscle loss is powerful. My goal is to help you understand the how, beyond just a single ingredient, integrating it into a holistic approach that truly works for the long term. It's about understanding the problem so we can effectively apply the right solutions. Now, let's talk numbers, because they really paint a clear picture of how widespread sarcopenia is. Research shows that after the age of 30, adults can lose anywhere from 3% to 8% of their muscle mass per decade, and this rate of decline often accelerates after the age of 60. By the time you reach your 70s and 80s, the prevalence of sarcopenia can be as high as 10 to 20% in the general population, and even higher in those with chronic diseases. These aren't small figures. They represent millions of people experiencing a decline in their physical capabilities, often without fully understanding why. It's a silent epidemic, affecting a significant portion of our aging population. Consider this. Studies suggest that sarcopenia impacts approximately 5 to 13% of people aged 60 to 70 years, and a staggering 11 to 50% of those aged 80 years and older. Think about your parents, your grandparents, or even yourself in the coming years. This isn't some rare medical condition. It's a common, age-related change that has profound implications for public health and individual well-being. These statistics aren't meant to cause alarm, but rather to highlight the importance of proactive measures. Knowing these numbers helps us recognize that you're not alone if you're experiencing these changes, and that there's a strong scientific basis for addressing them. The economic impact of sarcopenia is also substantial, often flying under the radar. The increased risk of falls, hospitalizations, and the need for long-term care associated with sarcopenia places a significant burden on healthcare systems. For example, in the United States alone, the direct healthcare costs attributed to sarcopenia are estimated to be in the tens of billions of dollars annually. This financial strain underscores that sarcopenia isn't just a personal health issue, it's a societal one. Investing in strategies to prevent and manage muscle loss isn't just good for individuals. It's a smart public health investment that can reduce future costs and improve overall community health. And it's not just about the elderly. Emerging research indicates that lifestyle factors earlier in life can influence the trajectory of muscle loss. If you haven't been consistently active or haven't maintained adequate nutrition in your younger and middle-aged years, you might enter your later decades with a lower muscle reserve, making you more susceptible to sarcopenia's effects. This means that while we often associate it with advanced age, the foundation for managing sarcopenia is laid much earlier. It's a lifelong journey of muscle health, and understanding these trends helps us appreciate that prevention and early intervention are incredibly powerful tools. Furthermore, sarcopenia often coexists with other conditions, making its impact even more complex. For instance, individuals with conditions like diabetes, heart disease, or even obesity are at a higher risk of developing sarcopenia. This makes managing existing health issues even more challenging, as reduced muscle mass can affect metabolism, insulin sensitivity, and overall physical capacity. It's a reminder that our bodies are interconnected systems, and a decline in one area can ripple through others. These statistics emphasize that addressing sarcopenia isn't just about muscle, it's about holistic health and improving outcomes for a wide range of conditions. So, when we look at these figures, it becomes clear that sarcopenia is a major health concern, not just a minor inconvenience of aging. It's a global challenge that requires attention and effective strategies. The good news amidst these numbers is that we know a lot about how to combat it. The prevalence doesn't mean it's inevitable for you to suffer its worst effects. On the contrary, it means there's a vast body of research pointing towards actionable steps. These statistics serve as a powerful call to action, urging us to take muscle health seriously and to invest in practices that will help us maintain strength and vitality throughout our lives. Let's turn our attention to the potential risks that come with sarcopenia, because understanding them is key to truly grasping the importance of prevention and intervention. One of the most significant and immediate risks is an increased likelihood of falls. When your leg muscles weaken, your balance can suffer, and your ability to quickly correct yourself if you stumble is compromised. A fall can lead to fractures, especially hip fractures, which are not only painful but can drastically reduce independence and even lead to a downward spiral in health. This alone is a powerful reason to prioritize muscle health. Beyond falls, sarcopenia significantly impacts your ability to perform daily activities, what we call activities of daily living, ADLs. Simple tasks like getting dressed, bathing, cooking, or even walking from one room to another can become incredibly challenging or require assistance. This erosion of independence is a profound risk, affecting your quality of life and potentially leading to a need for long-term care. Imagine not being able to pick up your grandchild or struggling to carry groceries. These are the real-world implications of unchecked muscle loss. It's about preserving your freedom to live life on your own terms. Another critical risk is the impact on your metabolism and overall health. Muscles are metabolically active tissue, meaning they burn calories even at rest and play a vital role in regulating blood sugar. With less muscle mass, your metabolism slows down, making it easier to gain fat and harder to manage conditions like type 2 diabetes. Furthermore, a weakened body is less resilient against illness and injury. Recovery from surgery or a severe infection can be much slower and more complicated when your muscle reserves are low. This makes sarcopenia a silent contributor to a host of other health problems. Sarcopenia also has a less obvious but equally important impact on bone health. Our muscles exert tension on our bones, which is a crucial stimulus for maintaining bone density. When muscles weaken and activity decreases, this stimulus diminishes, contributing to bone loss and increasing the risk of osteoporosis. So while sarcopenia directly affects muscle, it indirectly makes your bones more fragile, creating a double whammy for fracture risk. It truly highlights how interconnected our body systems are, and how nurturing one system, like our muscles, can have protective benefits across the board. The psychological and social risks are also considerable. Losing physical capabilities can lead to a decrease in self-confidence, a reluctance to engage in social activities, and even feelings of isolation or depression. If you can no longer participate in hobbies you once loved, or if moving around becomes a constant struggle, it naturally takes a toll on your mental well-being. Maintaining physical strength isn't just about the body. It's about preserving your spirit and your connection to the world around you. These are the deeper consequences we aim to avoid by addressing muscle loss proactively. Ultimately, the greatest risk of sarcopenia is a significant reduction in your overall quality of life and longevity. It's associated with increased morbidity and mortality, meaning it can lead to more illnesses and a shorter lifespan. This isn't to scare you, but to underscore the profound impact of this condition. By understanding these risks, we can be motivated to take action. It clarifies why those seemingly small changes in strength or energy are actually red flags, urging us to engage in strategies that will protect our future health and ensure we can enjoy our later years with vitality and independence. So how do you know if you might be experiencing sarcopenia? Since it's often a gradual process, the symptoms can be subtle at first, easily dismissed as, quote, just getting older. One of the earliest and most common signs is a noticeable decrease in your overall strength. This might manifest as difficulty lifting objects you once handled easily, struggling to open jars, or finding it harder to push open a heavy door. It's not necessarily a sudden inability, but rather a feeling that things require more effort than they used to, a general decline in your physical oomph. Pay attention to these small changes. Another key symptom is feeling more tired or fatigued than usual, especially after physical exertion. If you find yourself needing to rest more often during activities you once did without a second thought, or if you feel consistently drained even without heavy exercise, it could be a sign of muscle loss. Your muscles are crucial for energy production, and when they dwindle, your body's overall energy efficiency can drop. This isn't just about sleep. It's about a deeper physical fatigue, that limits your desire or capacity to engage in daily activities and enjoy life fully. A slower walking speed is also a common indicator. If you find yourself consistently falling behind friends or family when walking, or if you feel less steady on your feet, it could point to weakened leg muscles. This isn't about setting new sprint records. It's about your usual pace becoming noticeably slower or requiring more conscious effort. Observe how quickly you can cross a street, or how easily you navigate uneven terrain. A decline in walking speed is often one of the first objective measures that clinicians use to screen for potential sarcopenia, as it directly reflects lower limb muscle function. Difficulty with balance and an increased tendency to stumble or fall are more advanced symptoms, but important ones to recognize. If you find yourself grabbing onto furniture more often, or feeling less stable when standing on one leg, your core and leg muscles might be struggling to provide adequate support. This is a crucial sign because it directly relates to the increased risk of falls we discussed earlier. Don't dismiss these moments. They are your body's way of telling you that your balance system, which heavily relies. Now let's shift our focus from understanding the problem to embracing the solutions. The good news is that sarcopenia, while natural, is far from inevitable in its most debilitating forms. We have powerful tools at our disposal, and the cornerstone of preventing and even reversing muscle loss is consistent, appropriate exercise. Specifically, resistance training, which means working your muscles against a force, is incredibly effective. Think of lifting weights, using resistance bands, or even just your own body weight with exercises like squats or push-ups. It's not about becoming a bodybuilder. It's about sending a clear signal to your muscles that they need to stay strong and grow, stimulating them to rebuild and maintain their mass and function. When it comes to exercise, consistency truly is key. You don't need to start with intense hour-long gym sessions. Begin with what feels manageable, perhaps 2 to 3 times a week, focusing on major muscle groups. As you get stronger, you can gradually increase the challenge, either by adding more weight, more repetitions, or trying more complex movements. It's a process called progressive overload, and it's how your muscles adapt and grow. If you're unsure where to start, consider consulting a physical therapist or a certified personal trainer who specializes in older adults. They can help you develop a safe and effective routine tailored to your individual needs and abilities, ensuring proper form to prevent injury. Alongside exercise, nutrition plays an absolutely critical role, and here's where we circle back to our earlier discussion about protein. Protein is the fundamental building block for your muscles, and as we age, our bodies become less efficient at using it to build and repair muscle tissue. This means we actually need more protein than younger adults to maintain muscle mass. Aim for high-quality protein sources at each meal, such as lean meats, poultry, fish, eggs, dairy products like Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, and plant-based options like beans, lentils, and tofu. And yes, a smart, consistent protein boost, perhaps even mixed into your morning coffee or a smoothie, can be an excellent way to ensure you're meeting those daily protein needs. Beyond just the quantity of protein, how you consume it matters. Spreading your protein intake throughout the day, rather than eating one large portion at dinner, can be more effective for muscle protein synthesis. Think of it as providing a steady supply of building materials to your muscles. But protein isn't the only nutrient that counts. A balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains provides essential vitamins and minerals, like vitamin D, which is crucial for muscle function, and antioxidants that help reduce inflammation. Hydration is also vital. Muscles are largely water, and proper hydration supports their function and recovery. It's about fueling your body intelligently to support every aspect of muscle health. Don't underestimate the power of sleep and stress management in your muscle health journey. When you sleep, your body is hard at work repairing tissues, including your muscles, and producing growth hormones essential for muscle maintenance. Chronic sleep deprivation can interfere with these processes, increase inflammation, and elevate cortisol levels, a stress hormone that can contribute to muscle breakdown. Similarly, prolonged stress can have a detrimental effect on your physical well-being. Finding healthy ways to manage stress, whether through mindfulness, hobbies, or spending time in nature, can indirectly support your muscle health by creating a more anabolic, muscle-building environment in your body. In addition to structured exercise, consistent nutrition, and quality sleep, Remember that overall lifestyle habits are interwoven with muscle health. Avoiding smoking and limiting alcohol intake are important, as both can negatively impact your body's ability to build and repair muscle. Furthermore, simply staying active throughout the day, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, walking more, gardening, or engaging in light household chores contributes to your overall energy expenditure and keeps your muscles engaged. It's about making movement a natural part of your daily life, rather than seeing it as a separate chore. Every little bit of activity adds up to a stronger, more resilient you. So why go through all this effort? Because these practical steps are your pathway to reclaiming and maintaining your independence and vitality. Imagine confidently opening that stubborn jar, effortlessly carrying your groceries, or having the energy to play actively with your grandchildren without feeling drained. These aren't just small victories. They are profound indicators of a life lived on your own terms. By investing in your muscle health now, you're investing in your ability to fully participate in life, to pursue your passions, and to enjoy every moment with strength, balance, and the enduring energy that allows you to truly thrive, not just survive, through your later years. It's crucial to understand that it is never too late to start. Many people mistakenly believe that muscle loss is an irreversible part of aging, a fate to be passively accepted. But that simply isn't true. Our bodies are incredibly adaptable, and studies have consistently shown that individuals in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s can significantly increase their muscle mass and strength through consistent resistance training and adequate protein intake. You have the power to influence your physical future. Don't let past inactivity or current limitations deter you. Every small step you take forward is a victory, building momentum towards a stronger, more capable version of yourself. As your doctor, my strongest recommendation is to start by having a conversation with me or your healthcare provider. We can discuss your individual health status, any existing conditions, and help you craft a safe and effective plan that's right for you. Perhaps it's a referral to a physical therapist, a discussion about your current dietary habits, or simply guidance on how to begin a gentle exercise routine. Remember, this isn't about grand, sweeping changes overnight. It's about making sustainable adjustments, one step at a time, that will yield profound benefits over the long haul. Let's work together to ensure you have the knowledge and support you need to succeed. Ultimately, this journey isn't just about beating sarcopenia or chasing a headline. It's about embracing a lifestyle that preserves your most precious asset, your ability to live fully and independently. It's about ensuring that those subtle shifts in strength or energy don't become limitations, but rather catalysts for positive change. By consistently nourishing your body with smart protein intake, engaging in regular, appropriate exercise, prioritizing sleep, and managing stress, you are building a foundation for a future filled with energy, resilience, and joy. This isn't a quick fix, but a profound commitment to yourself, a commitment to a vibrant, active, and independent life for the long haul, because you deserve to live every year to its fullest.